Dạ thưa thầy, con chưa nghe được thầy, thưa thầy. Dạ rồi, dạ. So testing.
Yes, please.
So now today you have only today and tomorrow the class will be finished. However, I want to remind all of you about your practice because you are learning the level 19. A number of you who are not clear, or a number of you who are clear about the technique. So I want to remind you again the technique. The practice of outer space from level 16, 17, 18, 19, the technique to practice to go out to space, that is a general technique for all the levels. When you go to the level 19, there is a special case that in the past you received the light of God's aura 2 seconds and sent 3 seconds to all the locations. And I want to repeat the formula again for you so you are clear. First, you receive the light of God's aura 2 seconds into your brain. You do the 10 breaths. Why? So when you inhale and exhale 10 times, then you can drink 30 ml of the UE, 30 ml of the UE water. After you drink 30 ml of the UE water, the water that you mix with salt and sugar, then you pray to God. You pray to my soul to help your body to practice, to transform into energy, combining with your soul to travel out to space to learn. After you pray, you receive the light of the aura 2 seconds, send 3 seconds to anywhere. Because in the past, you send to one country to another. You got distraction because sometimes you want to send, but you forgot what country. Therefore, I don't want you to have disruption when you receive the light of God aura 2 seconds, send 3 seconds continuously. That is the reason I decide to allow you to receive the light of God aura 2 seconds and send 3 seconds to the internal organs inside your body. Especially those organs that are sick, you transfer energy to them in order to help. First, to help the organs to recover. Secondly, to help your practice so your body can transform into energy easier so you can travel out to space to learn. That is the reason from the level 18 and 19 I allow you to practice so it is easier for you to practice to travel out to space. The purpose as I teach you to learn to practice to travel to space, meaning you combine your soul and your body to transform into like the air or the light of God's aura. That is the reason I want you to achieve the wisdom of the body and enlightenment of the soul. Our soul, it is already enlightened. But our soul, as God has sent down to us, God gave us the freedom of choice, that is your body. Even though your soul has the capacity, even though your soul has the ability, including the deities or God, they have the ability, but importantly, do you want to accept or not? The deities give you the freedom, but do you want to serve or not? That is a very important point that I remind all of you as you practice so that you can have everything. You return to the zero, meaning you have everything, so that you can create all of the living creatures. If you have from one and higher, then you are not able to achieve anything. You can, but it is very limited. That is how I share with you. When you know that our soul is higher, the body as God has chosen, that is one of the invaluable gifts that on earth nobody can buy. 25 centuries ago, Buddha had taught, after 25 centuries, the most important part is in the 21st century, the humankind, we are declining so fast because of the ties to the material world. In the 20th century, due to the materialism, because a lot of war and suffering because of selfishness and power. Regardless of your soul is so high, but you are still influenced by tradition, culture, family, society. That's why you suffer. The deities let you have suffer through the 20th century in order to awaken you. In fact, when they have the problem with the Y2K, that marked the beginning of the 21st century, all the people in the world, they raised their consciousness. Additionally, with the teaching of LUONG, we developed in the 21st century. We have the ability, as God has taught me and I teach you, we have the ability to contribute to help all of the situations that happen. Supposedly, in the 21st century, the condition around the world would be in chaos due to the war in the Middle East between the Americans. For that reason, the people around the world, they recognize and they pray to the deities so everything change. The deities rush and help us to have wisdom and enlightenment. So we are able to contribute to help all the people to have the same state of wisdom and enlightenment like us in order to re-establish social order. To have social order, it will be just like the nerve system inside our body, and it will help the body to recover the health. That is how I want to share with you. That is the reason I allow you to practice. So you are able to achieve our objective for the sake of people, to serve people. So you listen carefully. Your current soul and today and tomorrow you will have a change on higher soul that come to you. But your body, because of the fact that your body still have greed, if it is still like that, then your capacity is lower than the lower soul. It is a pity for your body, because the unbiased soul, even though it is a high soul, but with your freedom of choice, you want to go on the spiritual path, then they can help you on the spiritual path. But if you want to help in the material life, then they will find another body that is more appropriate for their development on the spiritual path to go, whether you are level 20, not to mention about level 19. I have to reveal to you this truth so you can recognize it. That is the benefit, the highest benefit that is for you and your family, that is the nearest, and furthermore for your country, your people, or the communities in the world, if you wish to serve. But if you do not want to, then there's no problem. I cannot stop you. Your soul cannot stop you. God cannot stop you. Then that will be your mission is finished right here. That is how I share with you, so you can understand and you know. Do not think that the lower soul, they are not capable as your high soul. You're right, the higher soul, but if you know how, if your body cooperate with the higher soul to serve mankind, then you have everything. And the higher soul, but the body doesn't cooperate, then you lose everything. Even though the soul is from the chakra 5, chakra 4 down, but the capability is higher than you, because they want to serve people, help people. Just like I always explain to you, do not think that you are in a level 16, level 17, level 19, or level 20, you have the capacity more than the other students. You may not. Sometimes that student only a level 7 special. They are helping so many souls to evolve. They have a lot of merits. As they travel here and there, helping the living as well as the dead. But for you, you just here and just go partying, doing nothing. You go partying, that is for your body, but you're also causing social order to people around you to suffer, especially your family members. If you recognize that point, then you feel so happy. Your soul will feel happy, your body will feel happy. Then that would be the case of the highly capable soul that come to you. But if you give up everything, the high soul that come to the body, that is always tied to the material, then the soul will return back to the deities. And a number of people that you say that they have a sudden death, they were just living and suddenly they just fall down and die. Because the body doesn't cooperate, that is a sudden death. That means that you don't have the soul in you. So through these previous seminars, especially the recent level 20, as well as the higher level 16, 17, 18, 19, I always remind you that you have a precious gift that the deities had given to the humankind for the first time in the 21st century during this era. It is not to say to praise our school. I do not need this. This is God who chose your body. God has sent the higher soul into you in order to serve mankind. That is the human in the flesh. That is our human race right now. Your people, your country, they are no strangers. That is Before I let you ask questions, I just want to share with you a few points in order to summarize for you, so that your practice, you are able to achieve the effectiveness. In that way, you can contribute to help yourself and others to achieve the goal that you can help yourself, your family. As I present this to you, you go back home and you can try to do it, and you will see your life change. Really, your life change. But now if I say like this, but you go back home, you are free, you just go get drunk and go to the bar, go to the casino, or taking drugs, addicts, then it is your own business. You can. The deity allowed you, because it is your freedom. But then it is only a short time. It is not it is not eternal. Then you will change the soul. Your soul will go on to another body. That is how I help you, so you can understand this concept. And I want to summarize for you as in the level 19, due to your work, your job, you have a lot. So I advise for you, you want to be healthy, you are working with your hands, labor, or you work with your mind, you feel exhausted. Let's say you work a lot with a computer, you feel exhausted. So I show you, or if you work a laborer, you feel physically tired. Then let's say when you are carrying a box, or when you're carrying heavy weight, as you are a laborer, but you are lifting this container, but in your mind you receive the light of God aura and send 3 seconds to point A, B, C, or to your owner, so that your boss will give raise to you, or to your co-workers. So whether they are good or bad, do not pay attention. All you need is receive 2 seconds and send 3 seconds to them. Then they will feel better and they help you, and you feel better. Or you are working with a computer, your hand are typing, regardless of any language, your hand is typing, but in your mind, you receive 2 seconds, send 3 seconds, even you send it to the document, or you can send it to your computer. Or you can send energy to the people that you have grudges with you, or people you like, your co-worker. Not much. Receive 2 seconds as you are typing right here. Receive a light about 2 seconds, and send 3 seconds to your manager. Receive 2 seconds, send 3 seconds to your supervisor. Receive 2 seconds and send 3 seconds to your father and mother-in-law. Even if you have grudges with them, and suddenly they turn around and love you. If they don't love you, then there's nothing you can do, and that is the best way. Because if your parents, your own parents die already, so you cannot send to them, you can send to their grave. So you can do anything. In that way, suddenly you feel much better, and you don't even lose any time in your work or your job. But if you sit there and feel discouraged or feeling sad, so instead of doing that, I show you, just go into the toilet, especially when you are working. You just say that you have a stomach pain, you go into the toilet, close the door. So instead of sitting there and you just sit and close your eye and practice to travel to space, regardless of whether it is a toilet or not. The toilet over here is very clean. It's not like in my country. In my country, my God, when you go to the toilet with the smell, you cannot even meditate. For sure, you cannot practice. But over here, you may be able to. And you just flush it, and suddenly it smells better. When you go to the toilet, some of the toilet, they have many of this refreshener. You sit there and you practice, and then 5 minutes later you walk out and you feel better. It is your body feel better because you don't have a stomach pain. But in fact, this is the reality. This is the safest way. Nobody cause a problem to you or distract you. Especially in a public restroom, when you sit in there, nobody would go in. When they see that your 2 feet in the toilet, then nobody would do it. So you can sit in there for 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes. And over there they flush, regardless of what they do. But over here you sit and you travel to space. It's better for you. If you want to feel better, when you are working, you feel exhausted. That is my opinion. I help you. So you are able to work happily, and your boss or your co-worker will like you. That is how I summarize for you some of these basic points that sometimes you did not know or did not understand. I just want to give you that general answer for you, so you have the opportunity to learn, to apply, to help yourself and help others. So now, to continue, it's time for Belarus. You can ask the question now. Belarus, it's your turn.
Dear Master, could you please explain us whether partial or whole sickness of a person in part and whole affects the quality of energy we transfer? Look, we are instruments that channels for energy, but if our tool, the instrument, is not of good quality, how does it affect the quality of energy and the information that we are receiving?
Hello,
so
Farad.
the fact that our physical body should be in a
Hello,
state
Farad.
of health. But yes,
I'm hearing both, so it's better when she's done and you say slowly for me because I'm hearing both the Russian and your English.
okay.
So I couldn't pick up the words.
Dear Master, my name is Елизавета. I'm from St. Petersburg. My question is whether the sickness that our body has, maybe part of our body or all of our body cover having sickness, how does it influence the energy that we are transferring? After all, we are tools, we are channels that are channeling energy to others. But at the same time, if the tool is broken, is not working properly, then how would this affect both the quality of energy that we transfer and also the properness of information that we receive? He also invited us to pay attention to the fact that our physical body should be healthy, in absolute health, state of absolute health. And that even at the same time, even the slightest problems that we might have in our stomach, in our intestine, or other organs, or smallest changes in the normal blood circulation through the brain can change the functioning of the brain in a way that it would make the brain an unstable instrument for transferring energy, for transferring information that it receives. Could you please tell us more about this? Also, yesterday you told us that we think we are calm, but oftentimes the leftovers of our concerns and worries from the day before could touch our emotion, could feel our emotion and affect the person because in part they're staying in our brain. So how could you advise us to evaluate our calmness, the state of our calmness that we have today? What could you tell us more about this? Thank you very much. This was the question of Елизавета from St. Petersburg.
Thank you, Farad. I want to share with you. You need to remember when you learn universal energy, the energy from the deities as you receive the energy from the universe. But in fact, you do not have any capacity. Even how healthy you are, you do not have this ability. If you have, each day you can only treat one person, but you have to practice at least for 6 hours. These are the people who use their own energy. After training for 6 hours, they can transfer that energy to help only one person, and for the whole day they cannot do it for anyone else. In the case of universal energy, except when you are in a coma, except in the case when you are severely sick. But when you are sick, but in your mind you are still conscious, you can still think clearly, you can still practice. Then in many of the seminars in the past, I explained to you already, if you have a flu or fever, you feel weak, then can you still sit and practice? Then you 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you practice. Then afterwards you receive the lights of water 2 seconds and send here and there, or you merge so easily. In a way, before they receive the energy, you receive first. When you receive first, you will recover faster. Remember, you transfer energy and merge and help people. It is your soul, your body has no value, but your soul borrow this body to help people, so that to help these people with wisdom and enlightenment. We don't have anything. In fact, we don't have anything. That is how I share with you the most important part. If you feel tired, if you still have capacity, If it is not that you are totally bedridden, you are able to transfer energy, you help yourself and help others before they receive the energy, you benefit first. In the case that you have distraction by tradition, culture, society, family, yesterday that caused a problem to you, today you cannot remain the calmness. So, let's say this morning, when you wake up, before you work, or in an hour later you go to work, so you can sit very relaxed, or you lie down relaxed. Practice only 5 minutes. All the formula that I have taught you, just practice for 5 minutes. After you practice, and you pray to the soul master Dang to merge to your soul 1, 2, 3 through your chakra 6. Then you merge to person A, B, C. Then suddenly you feel much better. You bring the light of joy to you. That is my soul merged with your soul. And then your soul merged and sending the love from you to these people. These are the ones who are sick, who are suffering, your family members. And before they feel better, you feel better first. So you can clear all of this worry from yesterday. You bring the light of joy right to you. When you merge to help others, when your soul merge with the soul Master Dang. Master Dang is far away. But when you think of Master Dang, I'm right close to you, right close to your soul. Be right there to help you. And suddenly you feel much better. It clears everything. You forget everything from the past. Everything that caused problem to you from tradition, culture, family, society, yesterday that caused problem to you. So in the morning today, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you can clear it. And suddenly, and then you are calm and you can go to work, you feel joy. There's no problem with that. So I explained for you on that point. Just like now, in the morning you go to work. Normally, you are so busy, especially when you are late, you go to work, you have mental stress because you have traffic jam, and with a lot of traffic jam. So before you go to the car, before you leave your house, on the road to go to your work, you transfer energy on the road from your house to your work. So on your road is smooth without any traffic jam, and you feel joy. So that's how I explain for you. It's just like you pray to the being, like instead of they are going on your lane blocking you, and suddenly they just go on both ways. By the time you go there, and they just turn right or they turn left and leave your road, so you can go without any traffic jam. And after you pass, they may have traffic jam. That's their problem. But you can do this. You have this capacity. It is not that you want to go early or late, but when you come there on time, you are able to work to help people. This you can do. This is also the happiness and the joy for you. Yesterday you feel sad, and suddenly today people get the traffic jam, but your car goes smooth. As you go, all the people automatically go to the right or to go to the left, and you just go straight. And so your wife used to complain because they like to sleep late. That is a reality. I tell you, you can do this. But if you say you transfer energy, as your friend tell you that to go to see a girlfriend, or you go to the bar, or to go to get drunk, by the time you transfer energy, and suddenly you get a traffic jam, and suddenly you have a traffic jam, you could not go. So you would not be able to go, and you get late, and that your friend left, so you cannot go to have fun. The reason you are late because by the time you get there, you see your friend and you get drunk, or you go to the bar and this girl take 100,000 from you. So the deities block you. So instead of losing the money to the girls in the bar, you leave the money to take care of your wife and the children. It's better. This is real. But if you don't listen and you try it, you don't remember when you go and have fun, you would never. When you go there, you forget everything. You just want to go there to see the bar, to see the girls. So that's why suddenly the traffic jam. And if the deity love you and let you go first, and suddenly you get so drunk, and you lose all the money, and you still have the problem. So that I want to share with you one of the funny story. This, if you go with a purpose, then the deities will help you. So you have the means. So you do not get there late, and you are able to help people. It's not that you come there for pleasure. So that's how I explain for you. However, if you go on a pleasure, on a trip, you want to be safe, especially when you take the family on vacation or on a trip, you can also transfer energy on the road, so that you avoid the situation that there are other souls as they merge into this body that caused accident that happened on your road, or if you are happy they have an accident, or after the accident, that when they have the accident you are not there. You don't have any problem with the traffic jam or a problem to you. These are the simple example. As I help you the means, these are the means that the invisible are supporting you, helping you, so you are able to work effectively to help people. Now go on next question.
Dear Master, thank you for giving us the chance to study, learning this world. But the more I learn, the more I understand how little I know. Could you please tell us, Master, is studying and learning, is this truth or is it also an illusion? Another question. At the present time, there is a lot of literature about metaphysical aspects of physical illnesses. Dear Master, could you please share with us your opinion about the law of cause and effect based, which is mentioned oftentimes in human society? And also, I would like to learn the technique of using universal energy to prevent storms, tornadoes, and other natural disasters. Thank you very much, dear Master. Was it okay this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Through your question, let me answer for you. As a question, as you ask, I want you to think just like this person in front of you, in front of all the people. You think, you know, you admit that you do not learn much. You admit that you learn low. They do not know whether you learn good or bad, high or low. But in your mind, you always think you are low. But in fact, you know everything. Because you learn from the low and you have everything. It is much difficult because to learn to be high is so easy. To follow the high is so easy. But to admit that you do not know, then just be truthful, admit that you do not know. But then deep down you know, then people would respect you. If you say that you know and they ask and you are stuck. You say that you know everything when they ask you and then you feel shame because you do not know. So it's better to admit that you do not know much, then they can help you right away. I want you to think like that. In your mentality, you think like that and you know everything. By knowing nothing, you know everything. Why? You admit that you don't know anything, and then when you are wrong, and then they will show you. Do not feel selfish. You just say truthful everywhere you go. If you have the selfish, then you would fail. So this question, I just want to share with you a very important experience. You learn 20, and you said that the masters tell you level 20, but you only understand 5%. So those who understand 10 or 15%, they share with you, and you listen to them. And then you said, no, in the past, the master said like this, and some of these people, they seem to boast and say that the master say this and that, but you say that on that day I hear that the master was saying this. On that day you sitting over here, but I know that you left the room, you go to the toilet, and you did not hear that part. So that's how the people got stuck. Those are the people who claim that they know everything. So I advise for you, it is best to admit that you don't know much, really truthful, so that these people with their knowledge, they share to you. But if you say that you know everything, then they don't say anything to you because you think that you are high already. So I tell you, the most important person is the one that claim that they are low. When they say they are low, but they are better than you, but you are not aware of it. Because when they say they are low, they learn everything for you, and you claim that you are high, then you close the door. Then they don't have to say anything to you. You say that you are high, you are good, then you just do it. Let's say with the computer, and then you go to be to work with a sewing machine, and you say that you work with a sewing machine. You say that you know the computer and forget. That is the problem, that you think that you know everything, but in fact you don't. That is your mistake. So it's better to admit you don't know than they show you, they teach you. And they say this machine I cannot use, and can you show me? And they said, since you don't know, let's show you. And when you say that you know everything, and you're stuck, and then you have mental stress, and you feel anger. Because you say that you know everything, and then they don't show you. When you feel angry, then they left. Nobody teach you. So this question, this is a precious lesson for you in level 19. In the 18 location, this is a very profound subject. I just want to remind you, to help you so you can become a capable person. Never boast. That is because you want power. You think that you know everything. But in fact, you are worse than these people. They remain silent. You think that they are dumber than you. My God, you don't know who's dumber than who. You think that they don't say anything. You think that you know better than them. So, in my people, in Vietnam, we have the three parts: North, Central, South. In three, the Northerner, they are so smart, clever. Before they say something, they have to think 9 times. The non-Southerner, like Master Dang here, whatever they say recklessly, whether they're right or wrong, and sometimes they say wrongly, because even if they don't know it, they keep on saying, they just say to show off, but in fact, my God, they're so stupid that they keep on showing off. And the Northerner, they are dumb that they think carefully. They never say much. The Southerner, when they go to Hanoi, they all die. I tell you the truth. Meaning that they have to follow all of this woman. It's not that they die. My God, many of these women here, they are laughing. So to the first question I share with you, the student from Russia, I just want to remind all of you, in humility, you have everything. In humility, then you learn many precious lessons. I'm Master Dang. I know everything. But then sometimes I do not know. Now I tell you the truth. The phone I've been using for many years, the mobile phone, when they have the first one, the cost of $1,500. But when whoever send me something, I do not know how. I do not know how to check the messages or SMS. I do not know. So each time when my phone, 98 times with my messages, or one time 104, I just know how to erase the message. I do not know how to retrieve. I just know how to erase. And the next day I have 40 more messages. And for the student or someone who left message for me, unfortunately for those who send SMS for me, I do not know how to receive or how to send. For sure, I do not know. This I do not know. No matter how you show me, I do not know. I do not want to learn. Because if I know it, it is best not to learn. So let other people to work. My God, if I want to learn everything, I'm the master. I'm not the people work with the phone. So the phone with a problem, I tell a technician to do it. If the phone is broken, I buy another one. But you try to fix the phone and you feel angry. It is to buy the drug. It is more expensive than to buying a new phone. So I tell Teresa the lesson. On that day, she argued with me. She's a doctor. The light, I do not know how to switch on and off the light. With the light switch, electrical, I do not know which. I do not know about electrical suddenly because of the power shortage. I do not know. I don't know where's the switch. And she tried. I don't know how to switch off. So instead of switch off, I switch on, and then I gave her a shock, and she argued with me. And I said that you are a doctor, you are not an electrician. So if she's an electrician, then but she's a doctor and tried to fix the light bulb, and she got shocked. From then on, she would not do it anymore. So it's better to switch off all the electricity. I'm not an electrician, and the light bulb right here, I know how to turn off. But if it's on, I don't know which one is the switch. I don't know whether it is on or off. Off and on. Sometimes it's on and off, and then she got shocked. It's not my fault, and she argued with me. And I said, my God, you have the money to call an electrician. You are a doctor. You're the master to teach people. I'm not an electrician. If I'm an electrician, then it's okay. But I don't know anything about this light switch. In Vietnam, for me to do it, I just use a knife. I cut all the wire, then we can work. Then I don't get shocked because there's no electricity. I'm dumb, so that's how I do. with all the wire, I just cut them all that way, and I can work on, and then that is the best for me. That is how we guess, and that way I do not get shocked. Otherwise, I get shocked. So I just do it in a dumb way, but that's how I share with you. So you have the chance to learn and progress. In fact, through my lectures, in the case of all of the means, the experience in life and in the spiritual path, in the school, outside in society, I share with you so you can learn and progress. It doesn't mean I say it to criticize this or that. No. To me, I do not criticize. Now I'm so easy. In the past, when I was teaching, I was much more strict. I was very strict. Some people who didn't know thought that I was strict, but I'm not. I'm strict so that you can listen through that, so you remember. Why should I yell at you? But then in the past, I want you to excel. During the class, I yell a lot. I was very strict in every way. But from the time when I learned to teach you the higher level, I was tolerant. Whether you do right or do right or do wrong, I was strict and always yell at you. Why? So that you remember and you can excel. Why should I yell at you? In the past, that's how I taught you. But when your level is higher, everything has changed. Just like when you are teaching in high school or elementary school, the children are naughty and you have to discipline them. When they go to high school or they go to college, the way to teach them is different. That is how I share with you. Now, after 18 years of teaching, if it is the illusion, now I would not have millions of students. Now we would not have a video conference with 18 or more connection. It doesn't mean that I have anything. I don't. This teaching, this lesson, I do not devise it myself. It's not in the human world. It is a deity who revealed to me directly, and I apply and I teach you, and you have to do it, and you see the result after 18 years. So now the student has reached a higher level. The student from all of the location come to learn. If this is an illusion, then now at most I may have maybe 30 students, not 3 million students. By now, with the 30 students, 29 maybe Vietnamese, 1 from Cambodia. It's not that now we have 3 million all over the world. You think about that and then you know. I do not need advertisement that in the past until now, from the past 200,000 years until now, there is no master on earth that can teach with 14 languages translated. At most maybe 6 languages. You think about it. Whether it is real or abstract, you think about it. I do not advertise. In EV, I do not need to advertise. If I have the money and I spend for advertisement, either through television or news media, without advertising, and I don't have enough time to teach. If I advertise, and I would not rest. So every week I will be very busy. Now for you work during the weekday, and on the weekend you can rest. But for me, I work during the weekday, and during the weekend I work much more. I work everywhere, phoning everywhere, or I teach during the weekend. In a year you have 52 Saturdays and 52 Sundays. At most, perhaps I can rest only 15 Saturdays, 15 Sundays. On the other 37 Sundays and Saturdays, I never rest. Sometimes, for the time that is spent for going to movies or to the opera during the weekend that they organize, usually I'm busy during the weekend. This is not important for me. The important part in my life is to teach, to have the opportunity, the condition to teach all of you, to help all of you to understand, so you can contribute to help people. That is my perspective from the moment I'm the master. That was from 18 years ago. Now, you talk about the law of causal and effect. From the West, you talk about the law of cause and effect. It is right. From the East, from the West, I do not know. But these are the means that 25 centuries ago, as Buddha left behind, to teach about the law of cause and effect, to discipline the people to do good and stay away from evil. But I see that after 25 centuries now, very rare case, including the close disciple of Buddha, and they do not listen to Buddha. So for the public, it's so difficult to apply. But in the 21st century, when I teach, always I learn a lesson from the deities. Also, I borrow the body to learn and evolve from low to high. There are many books from the East that mention that in the past life that you do, and this life you may have the consequence. No, you need to know our soul learn from low to high. And also, we are fortunate that we have a body that knows how to train on a spiritual path, who know how to stay away from evil and do good. Then it can help the soul to evolve faster. Whether you are not in UE school, but your soul can also evolve higher. Or even if you learn UE, but if you have a body that is corrupted with a social problem, then it's a pity for the soul. Meaning a pity for the soul. The body doesn't cooperate. So the soul can evolve higher. That is because of the body. It is not that the soul can evolve to have the merits and to come into the body, to help the body. Can the soul help the body? If it has the capacity, it can help. Otherwise, it would not be. Sometimes the higher soul come to the body, and the body do not accept because of it leads a life of pleasure and materialism. So the soul asks God to return back to find another body to continue on the journey. Do not think that we learn the level 19 or we learn the level 20, that the higher soul come to us and we can do anything. We can. You do the good things, then you have everything. Because when you try to do the good things, meaning you become the people with no name, becoming the zero, then you can create. If you want to have from number 1, you want to go to the number 1, and the more numbers you have, then the lower you are. You don't have much capacity. Just like the question from the student, after you admit that you learn after 19 level, but you do not know, but in fact you know. That is how I share with you about the concept of karma and cause and effect. These are the concepts to discipline people to do good and stay away from evil, to help people, not to hurt people. Then it will be much better for your body. However, in the teaching of UE, as I learned from the deities, the soul borrow the body in order to learn and evolve. The body is good, then the soul can evolve faster. If the body is bad, then the soul is evolve slower. That is how I explain for you. Therefore, the soul doesn't have any sin. The body, whether it has sin or not, we don't have any comments. Whether you have sin, 80 years of life, you die. Even if you do not have any sin, 80 years of life, you still die. As you can see, according to the legend, the researcher who left behind, those who are the most powerful people to transform the body into energy, but then they want to have their own power just to keep for their own people, for their own race, then they also were taken back by the deities. As I learned the lesson from the deities, I want to share with you, and include Master Dang in the past. In the past, they also borrow my body. That's why in the past, I also have the greed, power greed. I want to conquer. I want to be famous around the world. I tell you the truth. But then through my journey, as I see the life, there is no meaning. In life, what can we do to help our soul and the soul of all the living creatures to evolve? That is the most necessary one. So for that reason, I focus in the recent 5 years with everything that I have learned, with everything that I learned, I try to share to help all of you so that we have the opportunity to change to a new human, new society. All of these new changes is to have wisdom and enlightenment. All of that wisdom and enlightenment, these are normal things that in the people, the East and the West, we refer to the nirvana on earth or the Long Hoa meeting all over the world. But 34 years ago, when we talk about the Long Hoa meeting, the book had mentioned, I had mentioned to the deities, I prayed to the deities to teach me the Long Hoa meeting, meaning the light of joy appear on the face of all the people. We smile, our smile on our face just like symbolize a flower, that all the people, we have the flower on our face, meaning all have happiness, not only 100%, but only 70%. In 100 people, 70 are happy, then we will have the LUONG MINH meeting. All the people on earth, at most 70% of them will be capable in the future with wisdom and enlightenment. Only 70% will reach it, 34% will not. 30%, once we reach 70%, that will be the best in the world. That was a lesson 34 years ago. The deities revealed to me, do not think that we have this ability, we can help 100% people with wisdom and enlightenment. It's not. Because some people, they do not want the LUONG MINH meeting. They do not like it. They say this is fake. These are the 30% who think this is fake. And that 30%, this body who claim this faith is a pity for that soul. The soul will change to another body in order to help another body to understand, to have wisdom and enlightenment, to understand what is the meaning of a LUONG MINH meeting. Including in the teaching of the UE, I do not wish that 100%, but only wish that 70% of you can pass. I hope that the soul from the first to the fourth human race, they can convert and help and support, so that to see if you want to listen to them or you are still like to have wine and girls. That is your own business. I don't have any comments. That is to this question about the law of cause and effect and karma. I want to give you an example on one point. Now you mentioned about the law of karma and law of cause and effect. I explained to you the book from the East. Let's say that from the past life you can see the present, and now you can see the present, and present you can see the future. Many of the high monk or the priests or the monks, they're supposed to be high rank. That is in the law of karma. You think that the priests or the monks in the past, perhaps in their journey in the past, they learn a lot high, they have a lot of blessing. But now in this life, that he's a monk or a priest. But then I ask you, how come he's a priest and the monk, how come he's in jail? The soul in the body as a monk or the priest, but to help mankind. It's not that to be a priest or a monk to go out and for political means. Buddha just sit there doing nothing, and Buddha did not tell you to go out and to protest the government, and you condemn the body and the body die and you return back to the deities. They go out and protest and demand this and demand that. They follow the religious life, and they still follow the political. Texai, you are wearing the robe of the clergy. You should do good and stay away from evil. And they are always going to the street and motivate people to protest the government. And you protest this way, that way, this policy, that policy. You do not love the people. You don't even listen to the teaching Buddha. That's why you end up in jail. I'm very practical. You think about it. Recently, I have explained to you, your soul is high, but does the body accept or not? No. If not, then the body would be in jail. Or you have an accident, you got injured because you want to. Buddha did not tell you. Jesus did not tell you. Where is your love and compassion? You say this for the right. Whose right is it? Is it the right for the Buddha? Buddha did not teach you this. Jesus did not teach you this, so why do you say it's right? You think about it. Because of that, that's why we have wars. The clergy go on the street to protest. That's why Buddha didn't close his eyes. He didn't dare to see it, because he's so afraid. He's afraid to open the eye and see his disciple are like that. That is the highest being, the enlightened one, and his disciple didn't listen to him. That's why they're in jail and sit in jail and pray to him to save, because he didn't teach you how can he save. There's no way for him to save, because you don't listen to him. If you listen to him, then perhaps he can save you. But as you can see, now I tell you how you can go to the Himalayas, or you go to the jungle to follow the path. You go out to the ocean, and then you got captured by the pirates, or you'll be in jail. And you say it's because of you want to follow the Buddhism path, but you follow the path of Prince Siddhartha. Why should you go out to the ocean? And that monk, the speed limit is 100, and he want to overspeed and drive 140. Even Master Dang, I'm so afraid. I cannot imagine that the monk, I'm sitting right next to him. The speed limit is 100 and he's driving 104. He want to go faster. Otherwise he's late or because of traffic jam. He's driving his overspeed 140. I myself, I'm afraid. If I'm brave, I go 110. But he's more than 10 years older than me when I see him. Because as I call him as my teacher, otherwise if I curse at him, I cannot jump out of the car. He wasn't going too fast, over speed. So it's so difficult. So with this, I just want to share with you, these are the means for us to learn to progress. It doesn't mean that we are criticized, these people are good or bad. All of the lesson in the list level 19, as I give the example, these are the means that to have experience for you to learn to progress. Never think that that percent is high or low. But I confirm with you, I explain for you very clearly, because you asked about the law of karma and cause and effect. I give you this example. These are the real one, as the deities taught me a lot. The deities taught me, and I share the experience as I learn a lesson from the deities. I learn from a spiritual path to help share with you, so you have this experience. Depending on this situation, that it is appropriate, then you can contribute to help in these people. Do not think that you can help all the people. You cannot. Sometimes you want to help, you cannot. Or sometimes you don't want to help, but then you are able to help. That is how I explain for you in general, so you know and you understand, so you have the opportunity to contribute to help people. Now, I advise for you, in the case of storm and tornadoes, I advise for you, you are in a level 19. You pray to the deities who are responsible in the region with the storm, and you pray them. After you pray to them, you receive a light of God aura, 2 seconds and send 3 seconds, so that then you can divert the storm or the wind up to the space. If there's a severe one, that you send 9 times, otherwise you send 3 times. I advise for you to send 9 times, because your energy combining with the support of this being, so it would divert the storm or the wind to go out of space upwards, so it doesn't cause any damage to this region. Besides that, you sit down to practice to travel out to space, and before you practice to travel out to space, in your mind you decide that you would come there. So when your body and your soul can transform energy, your body and your soul can be there. Even if you go there for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you only need 30 seconds when you lose all the sensation of your body, so that your body and your soul are there. That is sufficient. You don't even need 5 minutes, but I allow you to practice 5 minutes, but you only need 30 seconds. When you lose all the sensation of your body, then you come there to help the region. In the case of the question about storm and tornado, I'm very glad that in Vietnam, last week, perhaps the severe tornado or storm, we are fortunate that in my country, the storm is diminished. Perhaps the deities who love the people, the storm was diverted to Hong Kong, and with minor damage. And even if the flood, the water recedes, perhaps we have been blessed by the deities. And combining with the fact that I merged and placed many antenna over there, and a number of the students who are level 20, and a number of the students from level 16, 17, 18, that is to help in the case of the storm or tornadoes, that reduce up to 70-80%. Reduce the problems. Now, next question.
Okay. Hold on, guys. I quickly want to do a test and call Mexico into the telephone connection, so there will be more stable. Please don't bear with me until I hear it again.
Gracias por llamar a Retorno. Si conoce el número de extensión, márquelo en este momento o marque 0 para ser atendido por un operador. Por favor, espere un momento. Buscamos el gato. Busque desde arriba. Busca un zapato. Y desde el pecado más tuyo.
Hello?
Okay, it worked. So you keep. Okay, perfect. Make sure you mute this telephone. So just in case your internet drops, you can use it. By the way, we like your music in from the hotel. Okay. Silencio por la línea, por favor. Okay, Turkey, you can go ahead.
Hello, the student is going to ask his question himself. If you need help, I'll be there. I'll be available afterwards. Okay, it's going ahead.
Hello, Master, and hello, everybody. Thank you from Turkey for your guidance, Master, for 18 years to us. As your last request, we have prepared many questions for you. Some of them I will try to ask. You have mentioned that yesterday, especially, you have mentioned the physical world is the testing area for the humanity. We wonder, I wonder especially, I wonder what will be the, when we will pass the test. Actually, what is going to happen after the golden age? One of my question, and what is the? You just mentioned if the 70% of the UE students do their duty, do their exercise, the humanity, the salvation of the humanity will be done. Can you give the definition of the salvation of the humanity? What is going to be after the salvation? I have some conflicts regarding the acting models during the social life. We have been remembering many information for the humanity. But this remembrance, I have some conflict to the social life acting models. For example, being father, being mother, being grandfather, being child is defined to us in our culture. Creates some conflict for myself because everybody has their own spirit. And they are they should grow. The spirit should awaken. The spirit should grow. So there must be no difference for from mother to father to grandfather to son to anyone else. But the acting, the social life brings some acting models. I have that conflict. I don't know I am able to express my conflict, but I need some comments. And we have a few questions on the techniques. What was the... while we're transferring our soul to the space, what is the which one is the right transferring the hour of the God to our head or through C7? C7. What is the right way? Which one is the right way? And head or C7 or brain? Okay. And is there a way to separate the illusion from the different realities? One of our mates have these questions. Is there a way? Is there a way to separate the illusions from the different realities? Different realities. These are the questions from Turkey. Thank you as of now.
Thank you very much, Turkey.
Okay, I'll mute.
Through your question, as you ask, I give you my answer to help you the means so you are able to learn and progress. Now, for sure, you cannot help the whole earth, including Master Da. Listen carefully. However, the important part is, in 100%, if there is 70% who are good, the remaining 30, more or less in a few cycles, a few centuries, they will change. They will be convert. If they do not, the soul will find another body, and the new body for sure will be operate with the other 70% of the people who are good. In the first step, it might take 1 century. That means 70% of people are good, and the 30% would be destroyed, and this 30% will return to good, because by then all of the bad people died. Or the soul go into another body from the age of 10. That body already has wisdom and enlightenment, because always these new people, they live all with the people with wisdom and enlightenment. Even if they don't want to have wisdom and enlightenment, they have to, because the soul had merged into a new infants. These are the high soul with a capable body. These are the soul from the first to the fourth human race. Even if they don't want to, they will have wisdom and enlightenment. I pity for the human world right now. 6 billion people at the present time. If 70%, then you can say we have only more than 4 billion people with wisdom and enlightenment, and the other one we cannot do anything, because among these people we do not know who. You may see a person who really good and kind. Who knows that 5 years or 3 years later that person might turn to be evil. Now you see one person is so bad, so evil, but who knows that 3 or 5 years later that person is the best person comparing to these good people right now. That we cannot tell. That is because of our soul. We are fortunate that we have the appropriate body, then we can do good and turn to good easily. Now the soul is even a high soul. That the body is a bad body, then how can it help? That is the reason it might take 1 century so they can change the body, so they can have all the body with wisdom and enlightenment. You and me. It is not that we want to live and afraid of death, but if we are fortunate, we are among these 70% of these people, then for sure we will live very long. Why? So we can have the remaining 30% who are less fortunate than us. Then in a journey, as I had mentioned to you already, the people that are now merging with you in level 20, they had lived 1 to 5,000 years. The fourth human race, they live 300 to 600 years. This is real. It's not abstract. These are the real people. So now, after 200,000 years, we can only live more or less 100 years, or a little bit more, 120 or 130 years. Only 5-10 people in the world, or maybe a few hundred people in the world who live more than 100. That is how I share with you, so you can understand and you know, as you learn and you progress. In fact, that you really have the ability. Our soul has the ability, but your body, do you accept to cooperate with the soul to save people? You don't have to save anyone else, just your family. Is your family fortunate or not? Does your family listen to you or not? Does your family allow you to help or not? This is important. If you say to save the world, it takes so long. Your family, your parents, children, grandchildren, then you help them. You want to help, but do they accept you or not? Therefore, there's nothing we can do. God had promised to the humans. God had promised to the soul of this human race already, because of the love of God toward the first to the fourth human race, to give them all the freedom. That's why they had the problem with power. If the deities had been very strict without giving them the freedom, then we would not suffer. By that, they don't have freedom. By that, if they are under strict, if God is so strict, then we would not be able to evolve. But give you all of the freedom, just like among the lovers, you let them have the freedom of choice. Do not force them to love you. I tell you the truth, when you love, nobody can save you. When you love, then in one way to another you can hide. But you hide only in the human world, but you cannot hide from the deities. You can hide in the human world, you can carry with you to the grave. They would follow to your grave and demand to pay. And do not say that you love this person, that person after your death. After death, they still follow you. I tell you. And if he died first or she died first, then when you try to motion, he will stay right in the middle to block you. This also happened. So I share with you. Therefore, in Vietnam, the proverb mentioned that the net of heaven is very big. You think you can use a veil, you can just use a veil to cover the eye of God. Even if you have the steel wall, you just use a piece of cloth to try to cover the eye of God. However, depending on levels and your condition, when you have sinned, you try to cover it, and you even after death, you still have it. But when you confess your sin to your soul before you die, it is clear. You don't have to say it to anyone else. Just to reveal it to your soul. That is how I explain for you. Do not think that you have everything and you can help. You don't have the capacity, not even Master Dang. Because that lesson I already learned from the deities. We can never, including your family members, my family members, I cannot save them. So how can I save all the people? Because they do not want to. They don't want to be saved. They want to follow their own way. So therefore we cannot save them. That is how I share with you. That in the case of a conflict, because that is our fifth human race. The fourth to the first human race, they know the link between one soul to another. They know all of that. As they know, and they still have selfishness. So supposedly for us, as we go out, whatever belong to you, and you say it's good, and others you criticize them. When it's appropriate, or you like, and then you praise. Otherwise, you criticize them. That's why we have conflict, because we are blocked. Just like yesterday, I mentioned to you in the Bible, they mentioned all of the creature, including your hair or the smallest virus, including the smallest cell, all of them are created by God. But how come you curse at them? You know that God created them, they are all children of God. You curse at them, cursing at their parents, and their parents are also children of God. Because you didn't see. You learn the theory, you may understand, but you don't even do it. Just from the church, Jesus said that all the living creatures, they are all children of God. God created all the living creatures. God brings love. The Catholic, you have to love people. You walk out of the church and then you lose your shoes, and then you buy $80 of the shoes and you lost one shoe, and you are cursing, and you carry that one shoe and then you throw it away because you are angry, and you throw it before you buy another pair of shoes. Then you have to go to the pharmacy and you have to buy the drugs for $100, and then you go to buy a new pair of shoes, $80. So you lost 180. So you go to the church. Jesus taught you love and compassion, forgiveness. So you lose, rather you lose the money, but you don't lose your life. If you lose your shoes, and then you go to the shopping market, buy beautiful shoes, and you keep on cursing. So in a way, you go to the pharmacy and you lost 180. So that is how you are contradicting yourself. You have to understand the first to the fourth human race, they have wisdom, enlightenment, and they are selfish. So for us, for sure, the fifth human race, I have a pity for Buddha and Jesus. They left so many means. They just read. That's all they do. They go to the church, to the temple. They read the script. Testing, testing, testing. Yeah. Next question. So now let me explain for you further so you can understand. All the Bibles, the scriptures in the world, the deity is taught in a very simple way. But then, those who have the responsibility to write so many profound teaching, but there's only 2 words that I have mentioned to you, love and help, but no one can do it. In the case that I'm not a Catholic, but in the doctrine of Christianity, they say that to love others just like you love your own children, but anyone can do it. As I mentioned to you already, whoever that may feel with you, then you agree with them. But if they do not, then you oppose them, you criticize them, because you do not dare to reveal the truth, your own truth. You try to cover the truth. That is because you cover your bad side, not the root one. You know why the truth is you cover the bad side? Nobody is teaching you like Master Dang. Because the truth, because you have the bad thing inside of you. The good one is so easy to reveal, so we have to learn from the bad one. Because you are afraid and you cover your bad side, so how can you learn? So now let's say you do the bad thing. You reveal the truth and tell them that you are bad, then everybody listen to that, and you recognize it is bad, then you get rid of it. You keep inside of you, you are afraid of the bad, but you keep on deep inside of you. That is the greatest error of the humankind. Today I share that with you. Now, reveal the bad side. Suppose you say that person is bad, that man is bad, and they keep on doing that. You don't have the free time to keep on saying that all day. So that is the truth. You reveal the truth, the bad side. As you know the bad side, then it is clear. Supposedly each day, every day, all day, they said that keep on criticizing that you are bad and you act bad. They don't have the free time to keep on saying that all day. So I show you, if you are a politician, then you have to be patient. Whatever they say, they can say 3 months or 10 days. They curse you maybe 3 months and 10 days, and they reincarnate also to all the places. They will not curse you. So even they criticize you and condemning you, and you see that the man is about to be bad, but suddenly he's a king, and suddenly he's so kind, and he's a king, and everybody say he's good, and when he come a citizen, everybody say he's bad. So good and bad is the same. So when you learn from the bad, then you can clear it. I show you that way. That person is bad, and then you agree it is right, but you say no. For sure I hear that you are this and that, and you keep on arguing because you try to hide, cover yourself. And if you agree with them, then there's no more so to say. But the more you try to cover, and they say that person say this and say that, and they hear this and that, is it right? And you agree, then there's nothing to say, and they go that way and you go the other way. There's no more to say. If you agree, then there's nothing else to say. Is there any teacher that can show you like Master Dang? Because they do not dare to teach you this, because in their nature they are bad, so that's why they do not teach this. All of these teachers, they're bad, and they teach you everybody is bad. By the time they know it, they suffer. They don't want to cover, that's why they suffer. The more you try to cover, but when you agree, even if you are not, then you just agree, then everything is peaceful. You say that you are right, and that's theirs, not mine. In that way, that they are angry, not you. So they say that you are bad, then they say that you are bad. You agree, and you say that you are good. How you know that I'm bad? He said, I hear people who say that, but remember, that's yours, not mine. And you walk, and they feel so angry. And you just kick them, and they almost will die. And you just felt in peace, even though you are bad, and they are bad, and they also feel angry. If they die, just leave them be, because they want to die, and just leave them be. It's so easy. The Mekong document, you research carefully. You learn the bad is harder than the good. Today, explain to you about the document Mekong. Your truth, you reveal it out to the light, and it's clear. We don't need the good praise. You want people to correct you from the bad one, so you can correct yourself. The good thing nobody pay attention to. If even how good you are, how much good deed you do, nobody praise you. They only lead a life of pleasure. Master Dang, you take the example of Master Dang. I take care of these people, a million. But they don't even take care of me one. But I'm still happy. Because my life is to take care of all the people. Therefore, even if they turn against me, I'm still happy. Whoever can help me, I thank them. Because it is my mission is to help people. Therefore, you said that, my God, you have the money, you help them, and they turn around and against you. And God will condemn them, and you give them the money, and you keep on cursing at them. To help them, and you keep on cursing at them. You can see, so that's how I share with you on that point. Do not feel discouraged. You can use the subject of Master Dang. As the Master Dang helped them a million, they do not help Master Dang one, not even one. If Master Dang, but later on it's not not Master Dang, but it's to throw Mr. Dang away, then I will not have, now I still have the bone and the flesh, but by then, if I'm not a master, I don't have anything. So never praise or boast. The deities never boast. So I will not dare to boast. Whatever I can do, I do it within my limit. The reason I explain to you from this experience, so you can learn and progress. Never ask people to repay you. Whatever you do to help these people, just do it. Do not anticipate that they return the favor. As you do so, it's so difficult. As I mentioned to you, one of the precious lessons that after 18 years of teaching for the first time, the lesson, as I mentioned, I shared to you in level 20, as I share with you in this level 19, that we reveal our truth to others, meaning your bad side. Never say that our good side to people. You accept. If you accept, then you are higher than anyone. You reveal your bad side, then you have wisdom, enlightenment. It doesn't mean that you reveal your bad side that you are bad. That is the fact. You don't worry about the people criticizing you on other people. And you are able to help them. They don't have any connection to criticize you. And they say that man is this and that. And you agree that you are bad, and that's it. When I say that, how come that man is bad, but how come he's not? And over here you keep on arguing and keep on arguing. Now you agree that you say I'm bad, and then you will say that I know, I already know that I'm bad, and there's no more to say. You just accept it, then it's better. That's why the life in a fifth human race, because we try to cover ourselves. We try to cover the good and bad side. That from the mountainous area, this villager in let's say the girl with the beautiful breasts, they reveal themselves. Because in the mountain, whether it's good or bad, they still reveal. Because in the mountain, they don't wear any clothing. So, as I live with this mountainous area, with the girl 17, 18, they have the breast because they don't wear anything. Because in my people, they say that these minority people, if they don't, it's bad that they cover, but whether they have beautiful or not, they still reveal themselves because they don't have any clothing to wear. They only the man and woman, they just always naked. That is how I share with you. If you know the reason, you go directly to the point, then you have everything. Even if you don't want to, you have wisdom. Even if you don't want to, you will be enlightened. The truth, meaning you reveal your bad side to others, then that is how you have wisdom. And they will see correctly. If you have, then when they agree, you just agree because it is their point of view. It's not yours. Nobody can do this. For sure, you cannot do it. Because of that, that's why I say it. I say it, you can listen, but you do not dare to do it. Because you still have the family, your face in society to keep. That's why. It's a pity for these poor people. When they're poor, they keep on blaming that the people are bad. But who knows, among the poor they are bad. because they don't have money, but they're greedy. But even though they're bad, but they also have their good side. You never think of that good side. The Master Dang, you always pick out the bad side of Master Dang to criticize. You don't see the good side because you keep on picking on the bad side. That's why Master Dang is always higher. Otherwise, Master Dang would be dead. Because you criticize me, that's why it's better for me. That is how I share with you. To this question from the student who present about the conflicts, the concept in society, in the family. If you know all the souls are children of God, then you love all the people. If you recognize the strangers, they are the soul of your ancestors in this human race, then you love others. I cannot reach this. However, I'm fortunate that all of you, my students, I see the student is the highest in my life. Whether the student is a stranger or not, I do not know why. I love these people who are the Negro. Perhaps in the past I was in Africa or even in India. When I see a black skin, I love them. I love, meaning I love their people. It doesn't mean love in a man and woman. If I see a fat black man, then I would change my sex. You have to be careful when I say love, meaning I love the people for their sincerity, whether they are good or bad. I love the people who are poor, the black skin. Perhaps in the past life I was in Africa. Now I say in general for you, in the past you learn from the chakra 2 to chakra 7. Therefore, on top of the head, that is the focus on the chakra 7. But in fact, our brain, anywhere you send it, it go into the brain. So when you learn LUONG, when I mentioned about the head, so it symbolizes the chakra 7. But in fact, the chakra 7 is right on top of the head. So if you visualize right on top of the head, or maybe a little bit to the left, anywhere on the head, because the energy flow in all over. It doesn't have to be right on the point of chakra 7. In the past, when I was careful, when you learn, I have to point out for you the exact location so you can show the students so they can place on the right. Because on your head, above your head, that is universal energy. So even one piece of your hair is enough. That is the energy can cover all of your body. Therefore, do not be so distracted about either on the head or chakra 7 or the whole head. So you listen carefully at that point. Don't worry about the exact location. Now you need to remember the truth in the human world is our soul. Everything else is fake. Because of the fake, that's why it is destroyed. From now to the past, our body is a fake one. From now to the future, from today to the future, our body, sometimes it is real, sometimes it is fake. Fake meaning when you are eating and wearing. Real when you travel out to space. Listen carefully. In the future, if the being from the first to the fourth human race help your body, from the material you can transform into energy, then you are truth. In the truth, you are living beyond time and space. That is the point that God had given the blessing to us for many millions of years. Now it is returning back for millions of years. If you understand and recognize it, then all of this you feel at peace. There's no love that is equal to the love of helping the fake body to transform to the truthful one. That is when you transform into energy. That is all the lesson, all of the answers, all of my lecture in front of you, depending on you to choose. I cannot decide for you. If you like, you continue on the journey to help people. If you do not, then you can stand still. I do not force you on that. My mission, within my ability, I learn whatever I can do, I present to you, so you are able to learn and progress. Now go on, next question.
Oh, there he is. Okay, Mr. Candy. All right, dear Master, thank you for this seminar. Please guide me through these following questions. When current human will have change in their eating system and eating habit? So when the human will change into light and won't have to go to toilet? Does the level of energy or the kind of energy changes in the universe? And is your original master still alive? Does he still have other students? Next question is, please explain if the higher beings make mistakes when they are teaching us. Is it possible? And the next question, is there any punishment in the spiritual world? Thank you, Master, for your teachings, and thank you from everyone.
Can you repeat for me the second question?
Yes, Fu. Second question. About the higher beings making mistakes. I think it's
before that one.
Before that, does the level of energy or the kind of energy changes in the universe? And is the original master of Master Dang is still alive? Does he still have other students?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Through this question, let me share with you this means so you are able to learn. Now, as we transform into the energy in the material means we do not need. Therefore, in the future on Earth, we have abundant force, abundant nutrients. We don't have any problem of overpopulation with hunger. We do not have that problem because we do not need chemical fertilizers. We do not need many of these substances because we live in nature. When you are able to achieve, then all of this we can transform into energy, and energy can transform back into the material as we are traveling or eating. Everything is changed. These are the new people in a new cycle, and that new cycle we are returning back to the fourth human race, because the first to the fourth human race, they did not want to help all of the humankind. If the first to the fourth human race at that time they accept to spread, to teach all the humankind, then by now we would not be on this earth. Perhaps our soul will be in other planets already. Comparing to this planet Earth, from the calculation of the scientists, that maybe it exists for 2, 3, 5 billion years, but in fact in outer space there is no time and space. Therefore, my ancestors in the past, even though I don't know how advanced they are or how much knowledge they have, each day out in space is equal to 10 or a century here on Earth. In fact, over here you calculate 24 hours a day on Earth rotating around the sun. But in outer space, there's no date and time. It is much faster. So on that is in the past, and it is not our point of research. I just want to share with you, when our body can transform into energy, meaning we are returning back to the original state of the people with wisdom and enlightenment, that in the teaching of Lảo UNG, as I learned a lesson from the deities, we are fortunate that they agree to merge with us, to help us, just like them, from the original time on Earth. Once they have the ability and wisdom enlightenment that they can transform the physical body into energy, combining with universal energy. That's why in the future, the human life, housing, eating, all the materials is not, we have abundant. I remember in 1996, some people who mentioned that I said that in the future, we may have high-rise building, 3,000 story. They said that I lied. And now you can reach to 1 million story high building. At that time, I mentioned only 3,000 or 30,000 story building, high building. They said that I lie. I do not know why I say that the high-rise building 3,000 story high. 3,000 story high. Now only 300, more than 300 is the highest in the world. But 3,000 high mean when I teach you a level 16, then I realize to open my knowledge, since we do not understand. So now, in fact, we are reaching to 1 million or even higher. When our body and so can transform into energy. You go to the infinite space. There is no way to calculate. That is infinite. That is how I share with you in the future. In fact, we have wisdom enlightenment, as I mentioned to you. Then we live in the light, the aura. As we live in the light and the aura, then we can go to this planet or other to migrate, because we have the human body. We can create all the living creature in other planets, just like us. It's not so difficult, because right now we don't have the ability, that capacity that you and me, we are learning right now, in order to migrate to other planets, to bring our soul to other planets, so that we can merge, to have the body, so we can live there, to create all of the living creatures. That is in the future. That I learned a lesson from the deities. There is a connection from the past many years in the recent. That is in the 21st century, in the first decade of 21st century. That is how I share with you in the future. Now, as I explained to you, I'm a Vietnamese. As you know, in the condition in Vietnam after the end of the war, a number of people who are fortunate that we are able to go abroad. As you know, my people, they are very strange. I have to agree that they are very strange. I have to use the name of one of the clergy, a monk, to say that, otherwise they say that I do not have any religion. But then after 3 or 5 years of teaching in America, due to limitation, because I mentioned that I'm learning from one of the Buddhist monks. That's why the other religion do not dare to learn. They are afraid that I'm creating another Buddhist religion to teach, so that people follow my newest Buddhist religion. That's why I received a message from the deities to clear away the Buddhists to wear just a normal personal clothing. We do not mention anything about Buddhists, and never say anything about my master as a Buddhist monk. From that day, I remember it was from 1993. After 4 years, I cleared that concept. I do not use the name of one of the imaginary master as a monk from Sri Lanka. But that monk in Sri Lanka, there is one, but it's not my master. I have only one master. That is a deity who teach me directly. For the past few days, and in the previous seminars, I close my eyes, I meditate from the deities who taught me on the 27th of December in the lunar year in 1971. The lunar, the 27th of December 1971. That is a lunar date. That was about in the beginning of the year 1972. On that day, I meditated, because after 3 days later, that was the lunar year in Vietnam. That was in 1972, the year of the rat. And on that year was the year of the pig. On the 27th of December 1971, on that lunar date, when I sat down, I meditated. From that day on, I always meditate. The deities taught me directly in my thought, in many ways. And always, when I need to learn, I just sit down, perhaps half an hour, 2, 3 hours, or maybe 4 hours, also sometimes through all the night. These are some of the recent years when I was living abroad, and I learned from the deities. That is how I share with you. So in the material, I do not have any physical master, and I will share with you one of the good signs when about learning to drive. I see people driving. I just drive. In the past, I know many people have to go in to take a test. I just they just give me the picture, so they can give me the driver license. I do not learn even one day. So I go to America. I try to copy whatever they draw me A, B, C, D, so I can take a test, and I pass. In Australia, I also learn just like other, and because they drive on the other side, and I don't have to take an exam. According to the law from America to go to Australia, I don't have to take a test. I only learn the law because it's in Vietnamese. So instead of 80 points to pass, you know how much? I have 82. In America, 75 to pass, I just have 76. just to pass. So when I come to Australia, I drive. Teresa is sitting right close to me. She always pray and say the mantra to pray to Buddha or Jesus to save. Because my driving, I'm driving. I always try to go to the wrong lane because I'm so used in America. But then it's still done. So I drive when I'm in Australia. In America, I rarely drive. Because I keep on traveling in Australia, or I drive a lot more. When I drive, whenever I take the kid to school, otherwise Teresa would not let me. When she's with her and she drives is better. So people say that this man perhaps he's always drunk because he's never drive. Sometimes they always see Teresa driving. A lot of people looking at me and said, perhaps this man is always drunk. He never gets to drive. That's how I share with you. Now I explain for you. When you talk about the high being, whether they may have mistake or not, I'm saying in practical, I do not want to say anyone, but you have to remember who are the deities. After 25 centuries until now, who are the deities? The one you know the most, Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad, as well as all the religious founders all over the world. They're all humans. They are not the invisible one. And these humans tell you the truth. They are not 100%. They have to leave the body to be able to achieve 100%. As I learned from the deities, whether they teach right or wrong, I don't have any comments. Including Master Dang, right in front of you right here. Sometimes I teach you wrongly. Sometimes I am not all correct. In a way that sometimes I do not know, but I insist that I know. That is, sometimes I said I know and the student asked me, I do not know, and I said I know. By the time they ask too much, I said I cannot teach, and the deity do not reveal to me. That is the fact. For others, I do not have any comments, but I also learn a lesson. If we're still on earth, we cannot achieve anything. To be able to leave this world, meaning you leave the body behind. So for that reason, in the recent years, there are many masters who said that this one is a living Buddha or this and that being. I said, if you are the living Buddha, I test you to see if you are really a Buddha. I will have a condition for you. That person who claimed, one of the students at level 2, who claimed that he is a Buddha, living Buddha, many people who praise him as a living Buddha. I have treated him at the open chakra for that man who claimed to be the living Buddha, but now he passed away. On that time, people who call him a living Buddha, it's not in Vietnamese, so they have to translate. So on that day, I have many of his students and my students who are there. I said, all right, whoever claimed that you are the Buddha, he said he's the living Buddha. I said, bring him 4 bottles of avian water. I tell you, you just drink 4 bottles of water and drink all in 1 hour. He said, it's so easy. But then I said that I will use a rubber band, this very thick rubber band right here, like this. You know why? After he drink, I would use that to block so he cannot go to urine for 4 hours. If he cannot go urine, then I will praise that he's a Buddha for 4 hours. I will use this rubber to block his thing so he cannot go to urine. So he tried. After half an hour, he called me, Master, I don't want to be a Buddha anymore. I want to be a human. No, please untie me. Because he can't handle it. Because he has to go urine. So you can see, because I know. That is how I want to help him. So that he never think that he is a living Buddha. Because he think like that is a pity for him and also for his followers. It is not that I have any grudges against him. I said that you should not do that. Unintentionally, you may die sooner, because Buddha, at the moment of death, he's the enlightened one. After his death, then we call him as the Buddha, because when he was alive, they refer to him as only Prince Tirtha. After death, when he was preaching in India, nobody knows. As he's a living the Buddha. Not all of the Indians believe in him, because they have the Hindu because he tried to break the concept of conquering people. As he's a prince, he did not agree with that. Oppressing people, he followed the path to solve the problem of oppressing the slave. It is not that to solve the problem of karma. If you are the Buddhist and you research carefully, then you listen to the teaching of Buddha. But this he never said. Any of the Buddhist scripture mentioned about the fact that he tried to solve the problem of slavery. He solved slavery. He didn't accept. That's why he followed the path in order to solve the problem of slavery. If he's a king, he may have the power, but he wants to solve the problem of slavery all over the world, not only in India. But none of the Buddhist scripture refer about this. If they did, then they can explain about the concept of karma or this life or that life. That is how I share with you. To solve the problem of the law of karma, that's why 5 lives. 5 lives of loss, suffering, not just a life, 5 lives from the ancestor, and then continue on to be a slave. That's why he tried to clear that. For that reason, he's a Prince Siddhartha. He can clear the concept of slavery in India and also in the whole world in recent years, in recent centuries. That is also include the country of Thailand. As you know, from the 1st to the 4th king, they have slavery. The 5th king, after he researched about Buddhism, he cleared the problem of slavery. The people of Thailand worship him. They also worship the 5th king as he break the law of slavery. He built the monastery to help. He cleared the concept of slavery, not the karma, because the soul has no sin. The soul, as God sent down here to learn, how can it have sin? As we're still eating and wearing clothing, some have sin or not, but the soul never eat or wear, didn't have any fight, did not have any selfishness, didn't have any power and greed. So how can the soul has karma, good or bad? That is a fact. You need to understand this. Then you can excel. However, I explained to you many times, all of this means from the past until now, the religious founders who leave behind, they are all valuable to help us to learn, to evolve, so that we can contribute to help mankind. You think that I'm teaching you to abandon them? No. These are the ones you use to help others to learn, to evolve. It is valuable for the past 25th century until now. That is how I share with you. So you know, among these beings, whether they are right or wrong, now I tell you the truth. Buddha, with love and compassion, he usually preach, and the Hinduism people come and curse at him. If he can help all the people, then they would not curse at him. If he's capable, then he can convince the whole country. People believe, many people believe, but the Indian, they do not believe. But he was born there. He became the Buddha there, but they didn't believe him. In many religions, in the case of Buddhism, as I read through about the followers, Thailand, Vietnam, and Japan, and China, later on, in the past they believed in Buddhism, but in 1949 until now, once Mao Zedong took power, he cleared the Buddhism, but before 1949, in China, a lot of them are Buddhists, but 60 years later they clear religion in China. For that reason, Buddhism in Thailand is a number one, and next is Vietnam and in Japan and other countries. In terms of the number of Buddhist followers, you can see. Now, if he has the ability, then he would be able to convince his own country, but he could not. He can convince other countries. Now you can see, now it is the Buddhist scriptures that mention that through the past lifespan, in many of the classes we mentioned that you are afraid of the robber. That's one, especially the Buddhists. You said that you hate the robber, but Buddha had mentioned he was also a robber who come to help this to follow the path. He buy one and he sell 10. people sell one, buy one and sell three, but he sell one, buy one and sell 10, so that he can give the extra money to help the poor. He is also make a lot of profit, so he can take from the rich and give to the poor. He going to as a robber, the leader of the robbers, so that he can help to lead all of them, so all of the robbers to follow the path to convert them. It's just like Jesus create all of the living creatures, and then you curse at them, and you curse at their parents, meaning their parents are God. Can you dare to curse? Then you stop. You forgot about the Bible. That's how I remind you. If you're a Catholic, you have to listen carefully on that. That is the scripture he's teaching you, not Master Dang. I just remind you on that point. Do not criticize these people, good or bad, and rich or poor, or right or wrong. All of them are children of God. That is how Jesus taught. I just share with you. Now, in the spiritual world, in fact, there is no punishment when you think there is, but there is not. If it is God. But God is unbiased, never punish. But the humans, we are evil. They use their power. They abuse the power to oppress people, to tell them to have to go to rigorous training, to condemn the body, torture the body. Now in the 21st century, and you just keep on oppressing people, torturing people to become this and that. My God, you're torturing them and they get sick, and then they become a dead body. Well, just a dead person. You can see. You go to the school in society, you train the body to be healthy. It's different. But going to the spiritual school and you condemn them, and you do not let them eat, you do not let them wearing clothing, and now you give them all the food and drinks, but all of them, they are so fat and white. But all of the followers come in and you torture them. You think that in life it is the people in the condemn the people, but my God, all of the new people, they just come, they just die. In the spiritual school, 5 in the morning, they have to do all the hard work, and then do the prayer and the mantra, work all the way until late at night, and still to continue to do the prayer and mantra, and then sleep for 4 or 5 hours and do all the work. They become so thin. In Australia, right here, I see in a monk, the nuns, none of them are even not even 40 kilograms. Before they come into the monastery, they were 40 or 50 kilograms. Afterwards, that is a big monastery. Each of them are only 37 kilograms, and they always have problem coughing. They couldn't even speak. So how can they manage the monastery? They have a monastery, big monastery, millions of dollars, and then 6 nuns have to take care of them. I said, how many followers you have? It is very strange. I also love the people who take care of the monastery. I come there, I don't even give, not even $1. They go, they give their food. I could not, because this being tell me to go away. I see these nuns. I cannot. I have to go. I have pity for these nuns, and the one who organized it to come to see it now. This 6 nuns, when this monk sleep and nobody can see him. So now, is this a real path or not? To torture people or not? To follow the path, meaning you need to have happiness and healthy in order to follow. But my God, they don't even have enough to eat and not enough to wear, and they have to do all the mantra, do all the hard work, and do all kind of chores. But the body, these nuns, I have a pity for them. 32 years old, but they look just like 40, 50. Supposedly they look younger. They are so thin. And ask how old they are. They said 32 years old. I think that they look like 60. If you don't believe, and you go to Sydney, one of the Taiwanese monastery, the richest one, the Nam Thiên temple. When I go and I visit there one time, I never come back again. And I want to see all of the monastery and to see how they follow the spiritual path. And then I see that nuns, one of them is also my student, also level 20. I told her, you have your husband, your children, grandchildren, you stay home. So because she was to leave them family to go in to the monastery to go to the monastery, see many of this evil lady, and they have to leave the monastery. And these are the person who has money, but these people they really cause problem to them. So it's best to stay at home each month, just tell her children or their daughter, give them some money just to follow the spiritual path. They just do it at home. Many of these they try to oppress other people. I say that how come you want to follow the spiritual path? Because she already shaved her head, so it is difficult to grow her hair. So that's why that's one of my students. Many of them are like that. It is not that I'm criticizing them, but I say that follow the spiritual path, meaning you help people happily, peacefully, so that they can develop on a spiritual path. But my God, they claim, they think that they are high, and they condemn and torture all of their students, the followers. In a way, they are torturing them. That's why Buddha had mentioned. You need to listen carefully as I explained to you. Buddha said that you to follow the spiritual path in Vietnamese. To follow the path meaning to have full understanding. To act meaning to act through your knowledge to help people. And others, there's two ways. They say they follow the path, meaning you torture the body to discipline the body. To follow the path and to torture people. This nun, because she's fat, and after she left the monastery, many of us suddenly she gained weight. I tell her, at home it's much better for you, but because she already shaved her head, so now she follow the path at home. So each day eat 2 meals, and now she gained some weight. You can see that is the fact. I have a pity for these people who follow the path. Now to follow the path, you think that the moment you go to the monastery you feel better. Now you have to do all the hard work. And they said only that way you can be enlightened. They tell them to do the hard work, and then they sit up there. And I see that many of them, the leaders of the monastery, they have always a new clothes, and I see that they eat. They said that today I'm eating vegetable, and as I'm following vegetable, many of these monks and nuns, the leaders, they are very fast, but their followers, when they just come into the monastery, they are very thin. And 48 kilogram back to 38 kilograms. So in that way, how can they follow the path to be liberated, to have wisdom, enlightenment? But then, in that sense, how can they follow the path in the world right now? That's why Buddha, who knew ahead of time, 25 centuries ago, he said that after 25 century, that will be the end time. We forgot about how to follow the spiritual path that the Buddha taught 25 centuries ago, but we cannot blame them. You can see we cannot blame them, because we have all the material around you, so it is not easy to follow the path. In the past, these monks, they walk, and they just carry a bowl just to ask for alms, but now they ask for many people to give to them. So now on here, now this monk, they have a mobile phone also. They have they have to wear thick coat now, expensive thick coat outside a yellow robe, but they wear expensive. And then sometimes they carry one of these heater with them. So I advise for you, do not say that this one is good or that one is bad. Good or bad, it is because tradition, culture, is their own mission. And I advise for you in level 13 already, never judge these people whether they are good or bad. We cannot see. If you see, then you help the soul of these people so they can evolve. If for those who teach right or wrong, each of them, they have their own way. Because of their faith and destiny, you never say that how come this one is so easy, how come that one is so strict. Sometimes these monks who are so easy, the disciples do not learn. You have to understand that. So sometimes these nuns, nuns who are so easy, these young nuns coming in because of their heartbroken from love, they go in. So that's why they have to be strict. So that's why we have to understand for them, because that is the restriction in the monastery. They have their own regulation. If they accept, then you have to come in. When you go in, you have to follow the rules inside the monastery. That's how I share with you, so you can understand all other life on earth, everything is difficult. It's not so easy. But if you know how difficult it is and you accept, then your difficulties you are able to solve to become easier. You accept that it's easy. If not, then it will be still difficult for you. That's how I summarize for you. And for those who discipline or torture this disciple, on that I do not have any comments, because each of them, they have their own mission. We do not have any comments, and we are not in their shoes. We do not know, because we do not know. That's why we do not judge. Next question.
Take your time, Christina.
Okay, dear Master Deng, Albert Einstein once told us that the moment the bees disappear, humankind would only have 4 years of life. Because plants and animals, because there will be no plants and then there will be no animals. Because bees have an important role in the production of food. So I would like Master to comment on that. And this, apparently, according to this student, this phenomenon is taking place in the United States, in Europe, in some regions in Brazil. This is the information provided and the question provided by this student. Dear Master Deng, another question. Would you please tell us a technique would you please give us a technique so that our body will be able to face different extreme temperatures in the environment, extreme cold temperatures and hot temperatures? What is the technique to gain height at this level, at level 19, to increase height? Master, you mentioned about the water would rise. Could you please tell us more about this? Master, could you please tell us if Jesus has received a soul from another planet? Thank you very much.
On the earth, not just the bees. Universal energy creates all the living creatures, and among these living creatures, there is the bee. Do not misunderstand this. Whatever the scientists, they calculate, it is their own opinion. I don't have any comments. As we are living, we nurture by the air, by universal energy, by the light of God's aura, not just by the bee alone. The bee is not capable comparing to us. We do not even need the plants or all of this food, because we have much better, because we can create everything. We do not need these factors. From my understanding, as I learned from the deities, for sure, the bees does not have any effect in order to help all of the human world, because there are many other aspects that are more important than the bee extinction. As I have trained you, you are able to create all of the agriculture products. You are able to replace it. So in the case of the bees, there's no problem, including in the case of sickness, in the case of health, in the case of food and nutrient without any contamination, that I have guided you the formulas already. Therefore, we do not be concerned about the case of the bees that affect in one region or another, or from one continent to another. Just as you know, they are afraid that out in the ocean, the missing of the extinction of one species or another, for hundreds of thousands of years or millions of years ago, like the dinosaurs. Now, who destroyed all of the dinosaurs? Nobody knows. We say that because of the great floods and they died. They are very powerful. The great flood, they died and left behind the bones. At the right moment, they have to die. Whether they have the flood or not, they still die. In the cycle of those who have the wisdom and enlightenment, they do not have the body they can transform into energy. They still have to return back to our deity. Not to mention about the physical one, meaning like this dinosaur left behind the bones. These are only the animals. No matter how powerful they are not capable as the humans. And these are the humans millions of years ago. These are the humans with capability. So, in the case as you present, you can present, but from my knowledge from the past to the future, I confirm with you, this is not as significant in the human world. Whether they have more or less in human beings, there's no problem. Just like a number of you, in the case of the virus of the flu epidemics, or some other case of malaria, or in the case of meningitis, in many countries, they do not have any vaccine. And you're saying that the virus now is coming back. And you are not able to develop the vaccine. I just give you a very simple one that the deities revealed to me. These are the ones that I taught in the lower levels, but as you are in the higher level, I explained to you. In Vietnam, from the past until now, they do not have any insects. In the decades of the 60s, they have millions of insects that damage hundreds of thousands of acres of fields. At that time, I did not know anything. The deities revealed to me. The field in the decades of the 30, 40, 50s, without any insect, but then in the 60s, they have a lot of insects. They have a fertile soil. They use using organic fertilizers, and there's no chemicals. But then in the 60s, since the foreigner enter into the country, they use all of the chemicals, organics, all type of chemicals. All of these insecticides, chemical fertilizers. On the first year, they have a lot of produce. The second and the third year, they make a lot of profit. And by the fourth year, they went all bankrupt. Why? The root of all of this rice field, combining with the soil, with the chemicals and the insecticides, with the new crops, they turn to thousands and millions of insects that damage all of the fields. So they went all bankrupt. That is the deities who revealed to me from 1975. In the past, I did not know. So I show you, after I learned, and the deities revealed to me for that reason. I went to teach to all of the lower levels that you keep on asking why you have the problem with insect because of the mutation due to the chemicals mixing with the soil, mixing with the crops. They mutate into many thousands of insects that cause all the problems. So now you have the ability, as you transfer energy, the insect will come. Because you kill them all before they turn into the insect. So that is lengthy to explain. I just want to share with you short on that point for you to know. Now, in terms of extreme temperature, as you know, if it is very hot, you can try. If it is so hot, you try to practice so it is cool down. Or if it's too cold, then you have to use fire because you cannot say that you can endure the cold. Some yogi master, they say they can endure the cold. For Master Dang, when it's cold, I wear a sweater. It's better. When it's hot, I can help my temperature to regulate. When it's hot, and I can wear cool clothing, and I sit and meditate, and suddenly I regulate the temperature in my body. I feel cool. So when you meditate, supposedly your body is still feeling hot, and your temperature is about 36 or 37 degrees. Let's say if you are in a hot room and you can sit here and practice 5-10 minutes, suddenly your body will regulate the temperature. You feel cool in your body. You practice. That is a level 19 and level 20. I have a way I do not teach yet because you do not ask. I do not teach. If I teach, you have confused. In your level 20, many of you who are the auditors of the level 20 here, if you have a chance to practice with the rice water as you ask, the rice water, it is only for the level 20. As you transfer energy, whether it is in the hot and the cold water, you can sit. And so you can listen carefully. Instead, let's say in the hot, you sit in here, In the hot weather, you sit in the hot water and you feel cool. Do you know why? Nobody knows. In the hot climate, when you sit in the hot water and you feel hot. But you sit in the hot water and when you walk out and you feel cool. Because in the hot, all of the hair inside it's opened up and adding with the rice water and the energy transfer, it helps your body to cool down. When it is this is only for the level 20, not for the level 19. You cannot do it. Only the level 20. You have to wait for the level 20 because over here they have 5% the level 19, and there are many of the level 20 are later. Increasing height according to the technique of the level 20, and now in level 19 I share with you. You're fortunate that you can transfer energy to the local area, so for that reason, you transfer energy to the level 19 and 9 times to the location below the chakra 2 9 times. When you grow, when you feel the pain of the joint of the knee, or if you feel the ache and pain at the joint, then you transfer energy to the local area. As you transfer energy to increase the height, and you are able to merge with that person one time, then you can help the person to increase the height. Listen carefully. That is how you can help others. But for yourself, you can send directly, receive 9 times to the location below the chakra 2. And when you feel aches and pains, either at the sitting bone or the knee, you transfer energy to each of these painful locations 9 times to help to reduce the pain when the bone grows. The rice water, as I just mentioned to you, this is only for the level 20 I have mentioned to you. Level 19 you cannot do it. The function of this rice water mixing with salt and sugar, that is to eliminate the toxin in the body, to help the body to maintain health, to improve the immune system. Before I teach the level 20, me and Teresa, we had practiced, we have seen the result. For that reason, in the level 20, I had taught a number of you, and especially many people who are severely sick. After the level 20, they go back home and they submerge in the rice water and meditate to practice to travel out to space. The effect that is beyond their imagination, all the toxic inside the body, it just came all out, because that person has the cancer, and that person has a problem with the lung, that after submerging and vomiting all of the toxin, including the blood, supposedly the person died. But each day with the energy transfer and helping the body without any aches and pain, and then the lung slowly recovering. But after the level 20, on the first day when submerging in the water, all of the toxic inside the lung came out, so the person is recovering. Each day, just practice 1 time inside the warm water to travel out to space to regain the health and to eliminate all of the toxin outside the body. So for you, it's similarly. That is the reason this is only for the level 20, that you can practice to travel out to space by sitting in the rice water, that is mixing it with salt and sugar. That is only for the level 20. As I learned a lesson from the deities, before I taught, I have practiced, and when I taught, I asked many of you, and the formula I have taught you for those who complete the level 20. Now, as you know, as the soul on this earth, it is from the deity who sent down here. All of those who are the one with wisdom enlightenment, millions of years ago, these are the one from the first to the fourth human race. There are no exception. They are all sent by God. So as God sent down here from all the planets, the soul from outside of Earth, from the star, the sun, the galaxies far away out in space, the infinite space. All these souls, that the deities who kept them up there and sent down here, then as they learn from outer space, they'll know everything, and so that they do it very easily, so they can travel out to space to research, to contribute, to help mankind in the recent centuries. So now we'll take a 1 hour break, and we can resume later. So now we'll take a break.